We practiced mending 2 days ago. Today is the fourth day of the retreat, isn't it? And we have two left after this one. So let's do mending practice again. And let's see if there's time for other things in this session. So sit in a good posture. Let's take a moment to feel the body. Let all the muscles related to breathing relax. Letting muscles and tissues of the body relax. And letting energies flow freely. When the muscles related to breathing relax, it often happens that the body wants to take few deep breaths. This is something that I often mention in the beginning of sessions. If the body wants to do that, don't control it, don't hold it. Let the body take the breath, take the oxygen it needs. Yes, yesterday or the day before, I made one comment about writings and sayings about famous Hindu gurus, both from history and recently. And sometimes they say very beautiful things. And often what they say makes Buddhists confused. Buddhists are very, how do you say, persistent on pounding the hammer of emptiness. So there's that, but let's remind ourselves that we are not here doing emptiness practice, but healing practice. Healing practice combined with bodhicitta and the so-called pointing out instructions. Pointing out instructions means the teacher pointing out the nature of mind, the nature of reality, the nature of, in this case, the nature of pure body or light body. So if I say something like, use a phrase, find the light of your being, it's instantly problematic from the point of view of emptiness, but this is not emptiness practice. In our being refers to effortless being, presence, being present effortlessly. And this effortless being is is full of light and energy. And this energy flows. Find that light of being. Or rather, recognize it as you're sitting still. Recognize it with your whole being. Whole being means whole body. With your whole physical body, the height, the weight of your body, with your whole mass. Recognize the light of being in your heart, in your head, in your limbs, in your gut, in your emotional energy, in your thought energy. In the whole functioning of your mind, thinking mind, reasoning mind, mind that functions, associates, thought associations, mind that remembers, mind that is a memory bank, which is the subconscious mind. In short, with your whole being, discover and recognize the light of being. This is not difficult at all. Another way, if light of being is a bit too abstract, you can just feel the aliveness of your being. Aliveness, liveliness. Just like there is aliveness in a blade of grass and a whole field made of grass. Just like there is aliveness in a forest or in a lake or in a sea, there is aliveness in each one of us. Recognize that. And that aliveness is the same as light of being. How is that aliveness like? What does the aliveness mean? Just be aware of it. Smell it, taste it, feel it, listen to it. What qualities does this light of being have? Yesterday we spoke a little bit about the qualities. What qualities? How would you describe it with words? Don't use my words that I used yesterday or often use, but describe it to yourself in your own words. Endless amount of pure energy, pure love, pure light. Marinate your body in it. It starts happening spontaneously, this marination. Kind of like the body getting dipped into this delicious marinade. Soak it up, soak it up. Marinating every muscle, every bone, every tendon, every ligament, the whole skin, every hair, even nails. And let your whole body, your whole being relax and melt into this light of being. Let it melt. If you have difficulty in relaxing fully because trauma can prevent that, you can ask yourself, does this feel safe? Can it be trusted? Is it okay? Even then, what can happen, I speak from my own experience, is that the armor, the shield, doesn't go down. It's okay. It takes time. It requires patience. That's how it is. Having said that, really relax and ease into it as much as possible. Tissues deep in the body, and from the middle of the body, all the way to the surface of the body. Really letting the whole system melt, soften, just by relaxing into that light of being. One very interesting thing is that this light of being, joy of being, bliss of being, love of being isn't strange or foreign at all, isn't it? It is not like a completely foreign energy or experience. It's something very familiar. But maybe it's the volume or magnitude or comprehensiveness that feels is something that we haven't felt before. Not that often anyway. But really it is very familiar. It's kind of like seeing elephants or other animals in nature documentaries or in zoo, and then getting to touch one and ride on its back. Feel it, know it. So much love. So much love that is like light. Light spreads. It just shoots out from the source of light without any limitations. That kind of love. Light-like. Effortless. So rich in flavor, in taste. So much depth, so much softness. Not just, okay, that blanket is soft, but that it's this deep softness. It's soft, so soft that it penetrates all the tissues. All tissues and all issues. The elephant that penetrates all tissues and all issues. That sounds funny. The elephant of love. And one interesting thing about this light of being that is loaded with love is that it's kind of like when there's love, there's glue in it, magnetism. Magnetism pulls two things together, attracts two things together. Kind of like it's the, or glue, it glues two or more things together. If we have a vase that breaks and we glue it back together, then it's the same glue that put all those bits to their places. Love is like that, it's glue-like. And I shouldn't really say Well, I can say that there is this love which is glue-like, but it's our original, pure being, self, I, that has that togetherness, that is glued together, glues things together, keeps things together like love does in relationships, in families, but also in our subtle bodies and psyches, isn't it? Sometimes we might feel that there's also like an erotic or sexual dimension to this experience. Definitely, definitely so. So here we are marinating our whole body, and through the body, the whole meridian system where the traumas are stored in this original purity. OP, original purity. The original elephant. And when we do that, we are soaking, when we soak, marinate our whole body, it also inevitably means that our knots and points of pain are included. And over time, healing happens. It's perfect practice as such. Complete practice. You just have to find that original purity and soak it. So when we use I affirmation, which, like I explained, is to bring the concept, the thought of I, ourselves, back to its original purity, instead of being associated with our painful experiences and painful past. It's simply a technique to give emphasis, to try to effect some healing in us. It's kind of like a commentary on just meditating on the love and light of being. But also what's really important, I feel, for us as thinking and feeling human beings is to tie it up to that basic psychological concept of I or me. Because we are thinking creatures, conceptualizing creatures. We are not beings who have completely abstract mind. We aren't like that. So it makes sense from that point of view that we associate the thought I back to its original purity. So let's do that. Just like we practiced yesterday. When you still feel, still recognize with your whole being, with your whole body, associate it with the thought I. By saying the word I or me in your own language once. Once every half a minute, 45 seconds or so. Bringing the I thought back to the time before our traumatization, before those distortions and skews, to its original purity, original condition. So the basic instruction is to say the word affirmation every half a minute or every minute or so. But the most important is not to watch the clock and count the seconds, but to keep associating and working with the energy of the thought, of the affirmation. And then listen to it in between affirmations. Listen to it, feel it. Again, marinate. One thing, folks, even if we are using a thought concept, don't make the light of being smaller. Don't restrict it. Do you understand? Even though we are using the concept, the thought I, don't bring like a cup over the light. Okay, I'll tell you how to address that. Come back to the recognition, the experience of light of being. It's boundless, it's complete, It's very rich and full. Recognize that again. It's in every cell of the body. A cell is a very, very small particle, but the point is that it is completely in all parts of your body. If cell is too abstract, you can feel that your body is split into like 1 millimeter or 1 cubic millimeter particles. It's much more concrete than minute cells. And then just feeling that this light of being is in all of those cubic millimeters. Now, without putting the cup on the light, without adding a boundary, while you're recognizing that original light of being, this is me, this is I, this is who I am. This is who I am. Much better, isn't it? And it is this I, it is this me that I'm affirming. Not bringing any of those associations with the traumatized self, but all the pure qualities and pure energy from the original self or psyche. Associating properly and being very careful about the two. Very careful we need to be. Always when working with energy, when doing tantric practice, always very careful. Yes, it is so much better. Much better quality. So what we are doing with the affirmation, like I have said, we are associating the thought concept of I, me, psyche, ego, back with its original pure energy and its qualities. And just like with Guru Yoga or deity practices or some central channel practices like in Kriya Yoga, Amrita Kriya Yoga, there is a point when saying the affirmation can just drop, just disappear. And we don't fall into being half conscious or go into any weird states of mind or even exalted states. But it's just that this the pure energy as love, softness, groundedness, kindness, it just completely, how do you say, takes you over. Is that how you say it? Completely swallows you. Takes your whole body, heart, mind, energy, all of you into its embrace. That's a dualistic way of saying it, but then you disappear in that embrace. You become the embrace. So this is a very good experience, a normal experience for meditators and yogis. Really should be in therapy also, should be. So when that happens, just what else is there to do except enjoy it? Enjoy the natural joy of being, light of being. In this bliss and light of being, there is no selfishness. Even though we use the I affirmation, it is not the small I or me that experiences pain or contraction we are bringing up, cultivating. So in that sense there is no selfishness. And because of that, when we recognize and rest in this light and bliss of being, we are already connected with all life. Already connected. So bodhicitta, from the perspective of compassion, is already there, isn't it? Maybe you weren't focusing on it, but it's already there. This interconnectedness. We didn't remain as isolated beings, isolated islands. When we recognized the light of being and used the I affirmation, it's the opposite, isn't it? All sense of isolation and separation, poof, gone. And only connectedness in the place of that. Right? So from the perspective of generating bodhicitta, the bodhicitta has already been generated. This is absolute perspective, right? Absolute bodhicitta. All life already connected, as if our engine already hooked up into a network of electricity, already connected. So we already have the support of bodhicitta. And like I've taught, the first way to practice mending the broken human practice, is with the support of bodhicitta. So let's practice, as we already have the support. For the sake of healing our hurts, our aches and pains, physically, non-physically, from physical tissues, non-physical tissues of meridians and nadis, may all the broken and fragmented bits of our subtle body and physical body return to where they should be. For the sake of all beings. May all the broken bits and pieces of our psyche, of our ego, of our body and bodies return back. We are inviting them back, inviting them to return. For the sake of healing, for the sake of wholeness, for the sake of all beings. Say a prayer, then leave space. Always leave some space. I said the prayer on behalf of all of us 2 times, quite close to each other, and then leaving space. Just be aware what happens. May all the broken parts of our meridians, nadis, physical tissues, whether they are very tiny, small fragments, or bigger or big, may they be brought back to where they should be, for the sake of healing, for the sake of liberating of all beings. I'll say another prayer on behalf of all of us, of inviting back our scattered energy, our scattered vital energy. So for all of us, to heal us, to make us better, to heal us from trauma, to heal us in all ways, and for the sake of all beings. May our vital energy, scattered vital energy that is spread out, may it return to our bodies, subtle bodies. May our scattered vital energy return to our bodies for the sake of all beings. Just letting you know that we are a little late with this session, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If you need to log out, then you need to log out. But otherwise, please stay on board. Stay with the energy. Please lie down for 10-15 minutes. Take a moment to be aware how you feel. Taking Bodhisattva vows internally. Taking fivefold refuge internally. Wishing freedom and happiness and ease and health to all beings. And may all beings, each one of them, get a little piece of merit from our practice. Palms